we discussed many different approaches to how we were going to do the show here. Yeah, because we're here in Yorkshire, the approach was always going to be to hang the show around the Yorkshire paintings, the series I call the Bad Weather Paintings. Some people, on finding out that it was a museum show, and therefore, you know, it was going to be going on for some months, decided that they were going to miss their paintings too much to actually loan them. So those loans that we thought that we had for the show kind of fell through, which I was disappointed about at the time. However, it gave me a reason to, I had to make some new paintings, you know, which I have done specifically for this show. There wasn't any other reason that I would have ever have gone back to making these paintings. They do belong to a period, some 2 decades ago almost now. But I found, you know, that in fact, there were things that had stayed with me all this time that I'd never really kind of expressed properly. You know, you can see that perhaps, well, I can see it anyway, in the Scarborough painting. I painted that after my sister died. She was only 46 at the time, and she'd requested that we used to go on holiday to Scarborough as kids, and every year for a fortnight, and she obviously had fond memories of that, and she'd requested that when she died, that her ashes be scattered in the bay in Scarborough. My sister had also asked if we would then go, all of us go, just for a fish and chip supper, you know, for cod and chips, which we did. We were staying in the Royal, which anyone who knows overlooks the bay in Scarborough. I woke up at about 6 o'clock in the morning. I went out into the Royal Hotel's got a balcony out the front overlooking the bay, and there was a mist across the bay. You get those in the morning. They call them sea fret, I think. As I was standing there, you know, even while I was standing there, the mist was clearing, lifting a little, you know, and I began to make out that someone had been on the beach that morning. The tide had gone out and had left the sand very smooth, and someone with a large stick had been on the beach in the morning, and for some reason they'd carved into the sand with this stick, you know, have faith in cod. And as I was reading that, you know, a man appeared with a dog, walking a dog. He threw a stick for his dog, and, you know, he was walking towards the cod, with the word cod, and he threw his stick, and it landed within the sea of the cod, and the dog ran in like someone, you know, scoring a home run in baseball. He kind of skidded to a stop across the sea, and picked up the stick and left again. And basically in that action, it transferred the whole meaning of the sentence, because the C had become a G, and obviously, you know, that resonated with me, because you know, we'd just scattered my sister's ashes, and she'd had faith in God at the end, actually, and she had faith in God too, actually. So I think she would have liked it. But you know, that for me has a special meaning, obviously a personal meaning. And you know, so when I came to make a painting for the show, I had all that in mind, and that's not really something that I don't think I could have really done. I wasn't really kind of ready to do that at the time. So it's been great in ways like that to come back and revisit this series. For a long time, Penguin were threatening to sue me, actually, for, I think, defamation of, for bringing the bird or the brand into disrepute. I forget the legal terminology. But yeah, they were going to sue me for the longest time. And they eventually came full circle and decided to commission me, to not sue me and to commission me. to paint a series of penguin book paintings for them. And I thought they were going to throw the book at me, you know, no pun intended. They asked if I would like to look in their archive, I think it was in Bristol. I'd said, yeah, you know. I went along and, you know, I spent all day in the archive and found there were many different, many more variations on the classic theme. My favourite was the what I call the post-it note penguin. Tonight we make history. P.S. I can't be there. I always really like to play with big themes and the commonplace, you know, and the everyday, like death. What's in it for me? Death is a big theme, you know, but what's in it for me is very throwaway, you know. And I always liked these juxtapositions. And the thing that gave that more form and lent that kind of sort of urgency, but also that kind of throwaway sort of quality were the post-it notes. Hell series is a relatively new series that literally, you know, it enumerates a series of comments that I've kind of made and colour combinations to suit the comment that I've made about hell. I mean, I think of it as kind of an ongoing series. I've always really liked formal colour combinations, and the paintings begin that way as a series of stripes. And, you know, each stripe suggests the next. In this work, for instance, the black and yellow graphic also in turn suggested that kind of black and yellow I always kind of associate with warning signs. And, you know, I think that's implicit in the, you know, the idea, you know, don't make me come down there. I've spoken about how people can relate to a lot of the paintings through the text in the painting. And I've realized, you know, that while I wanted to put a certain construction on the way a text would be read, and I've tried to do that through layout and typography and punctuation. In this series, I've kind of happily failed in a way because though I've tried to control the way people would read the text, it's become clear to me that people read them in a way that's entirely personal to them. And this series is all the better for that, actually. In these paintings, all of that punctuation and everything else that relates to, you know, the way in which we read text, it's not present at all. The painting is the word is the painting. What's been great, what's been gratifying is that, you know, people are still able to recognize or identify some of their story or some part of their story, their personal story, in words such as love, if, by, and hopefully good.